separate these two tomato plants very tightly. It's a nice healthy root. Go. The Epic 6-cell seed starting tray. Here's my review of the Epic 6-cell seed starting tray. Extremely durable, nice large hole at the bottom to help push your seedlings out. Today, I needed to prick out some of my sweetie cherry tomatoes that I did not do a good job on getting just one seed into the tray. So today I'm just transplanting some of these and thinning them out. And while I'm at it, I thought I would give you the follow-up of my opinion on the Epic seed starting trays. Those are nice looking tomato plants, right? And we started those on March 4th. Today, I think, is the 26th. It's about 9 a.m. So there you go. 22 days later, these seeds came up. Now, let's take a minute to talk about some of the others. So give me just 1 second. Let me wash up my hands and we'll take a look at some of these. All right, I'll be right back. As promised, I'm going to give you my final thoughts on my review of these Epic seed starting trays. There's no denying the durability. These are going to last a lifetime. We had talked about potentially air pruning. It did not air prune as much. However, we'll pop one of these out in just a minute. You can see the roots are coming out. Therefore, I'm going to assume they're not spiraling. Therefore, they shouldn't be root bound. These probably should have been put in the ground already. I've had a few other chores, but let's pop one of these out. We'll start with this one right here and see what the roots look like. So look at how easy. I mean, that is just falling right out. Now, hey Primo, you want to say hello? Come here. All right. Hey Camden, look it. Primo wanted to say hello. Hope you guys are well, Cam. All right, let me get back at this review. So there's the roots. I'm a little closer here. Hopefully we're in focus, but they haven't spiraled yet. Now, obviously, if I leave them longer, they could. But I'm going to say, so far, that's exactly what I was hoping for. Now, I did not get those back in there well. They're going in the ground. Let's take a look at some of our larger seedlings here. These are cucumbers. All right. You could see now here, I'm going to say we did have some root pruning because there's not long roots. We have a lot at the bottom, and I had talked about that. I expected to see that. So I think we are getting some actual air pruning, but at a bare minimum, we can say we're not seeing the typical spiraling of those roots being trapped. So I'm really pleased with these results. Let's see what else we've got here. Let's see if we can find an eggplant. Here we go. Here's the eggplants. Remember, we pricked those out in the last video. These are the Black Beauty eggplant. Roots out of the bottom, not a lot out of the side. They probably have a little bit more time in the tray yet. And I've been slowly pricking out, and I'll show you what I mean here, where I went wrong. So yesterday I started to prick some of these out. These are those sweetie cherry tomatoes I started on March 4th. And today's the 26th. Most of them, believe it or not, had anywhere between 2 and 3 seeds. So I might need to make an appointment to the eye doctor, because I thought most I had 1 seed, but they were small seeds. Anyway, all kidding aside, I've been pricking these out and putting them in some more of these trays. And therefore, I'm doubling. So instead of having 12, I'm going to have at least 24 just of the sweetie cherry tomato variety. Now, I just wanted to take a minute to visit this. My bay sweet pepper, if I'm pronouncing it right, it's A-B-A-Y. It's just a small bell pepper or sweet pepper, I think. I forget. It's been a while. This is back on 217. They're just now starting to germinate. I almost gave up and just dumped it out, but I've got one here, another one here. So this is again that kind of broad planting, and then I prick them out. So we're starting to get some of these. Other than that, everything else I did has done really well. And you could go back at some of my prior videos on how I start my seeds. These are more eggplants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another one's popping up, so I'm still getting more eggplants. It's a good thing. I love eggplant. And here's another cucumber that, again, just randomly with the warmer weather, germinated. So that's where we're at. A lot of this needs to get in the ground, which means I've got to harvest a lot of my beets and fennel and clean out those birdies raised garden beds. Even in the greenhouse here, I've been working on cleaning them out a little bit. I've already cleaned out one of my tower gardens. All right, Primo. He's got to be right in the action. Either that or he's directing me to do something, because we do refer to Primo as the director. Anyway, I've cleaned out one of my 2 tower gardens. I'm going to sell 2 of my 4 that I have. And my other tower garden is just blown up with tomatoes. I believe I had a cross-pollinating effect, so my heirloom chocolate cherry tomatoes now have, it looks like a combination of that and aroma. I have some sweetie cherry tomatoes. I'll grab the camera, give you a quick shot of that. I'll show you my mulberries, and we'll come in and we'll wrap this up. Oh boy, Primo, I'll be here all day trying to hand pollinate all of these. Hey, leave me alone, I'm busy hand pollinating. Camden, what do you think of this? Look, can I point out, if you could see back there, look at the rack of cherry tomato there. I've got them everywhere. Here's another one. I mean, I do have something in here, probably a lizard that's eating some, but there you go. A young rack of the cherries. Here's, look at this. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but look at that rack in there. And all up through here, just smaller racks. All through here is another one. So we're getting some ripe cherry tomatoes. Oh man, delicious. Anyway, look at it. It's all spreading out over here. It's back here. I've got flowers, racks. In the back, it is just loaded up. Up at the very top here, here's more racks right here. It's out of control. However, it's about time I dismantle this, so I'm going to give it another week or two, and at that point I'll harvest my green tomatoes, and I put them in a paper bag, and they start to ripen. So what'll happen is, oh, I don't know, I'll have at least 50, 60 tomatoes, and every couple of days we'll get some more ripe ones. So it's just time to clean the tower. Probably not going to have it running during the summer. Everything's just going to be in the ground where my tomato trellis is, or in my Birdie's raised garden beds. Let's head outside, take a quick look at the mulberries. I want to get a couple for a snack anyway. Oh boy, we have lots and lots and lots of delicious mulberries here. I mean, look at this. Right here. And just, gosh, well, I'll stop there. 3, 6, 7. Cheers. Oh man. If you haven't started growing mulberries, you're missing out. Camden. Oh, that one was extra sweet. Wow. Camden. Mulberries. Gotta check them out. They're delicious. I can't stop, Camden. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna get one more. I'm gonna head back here, Cam. Here we go. I'm heading way back in here. Let's see what we got. There's a nice one. All right, let me come out here and give you a close-up. There you go. Hopefully that's in focus. I'll give it a minute, and then I'll taste it for you, make sure it's okay. Oh man, spectacular. Listen, head over, check out my buddy Pete's YouTube channel, Green Dreams TV. You want to learn about mulberries, bananas, and a whole lot more of edible landscaping, food forest. He's the man. All right, let's go back in the greenhouse and wrap this up with my final thoughts on those seed starting trays. Camden, leave me alone. I'm busy farming and eating mulberries. What'd you think of those mulberries? I don't ever recall eating a mulberry as a young adult or even child. I might have, but I don't remember it. Probably one of my favorite fruits. I love blueberries, strawberries. This is probably at the top of the list. And what I love about them is they typically fruit 3 times a year, 3. And once they fruit, I cut them back and I go ahead and clone the clipping and get another plant. So I have about 4 or 5 that I've cloned. They're going in the ground just outside the greenhouse. And guess what I'm going to use on my next clipping and cloning of my mulberries? You got it. These Epic 6-cell seed starting trays. They're great for cloning, pricking. Listen, if you break it down, 24 at 50 some odd dollars, that's $2.50 each. And you're going to buy them once and that's it, versus, well, there's more than one here. These cheapies, they're inexpensive. You use them, you can throw them away. That's okay, but again, not environmentally friendly. There's no big hole at the bottom here, right? So usually you push it, they crack, and they're done. Not really the best. They do work, so look, I don't want to put down any product. But there's this, the inexpensive, and there's this professional quality. Again, you saw how I was able to push my seedlings out. That's by far the easiest I've ever been able to get a seedling out. I'm not getting the binding of the roots. You're going to say hello to everybody, Primo. Say, leave us alone, we're busy farming. He probably wants to go for his morning walk. He's such a routine-driven boy. Anyway, my friends, all seriousness, okay, I'm not getting anything for my review on these. I've become a big fan of Epic Gardening and the products that they carry. Kevin is another great mentor. He shares his knowledge. He's written several books. You ought to check him out on grow bags. I've been using grow bags since after surviving cancer, so it's over 7 years now. They're a wonderful way to have a small garden. They air prune. If you're not sure what air pruning is, do some research. It's a wonderful way to grow for a small garden or even a big one that you want to supplement. I will have tomato plants in mine. Some of these right here are going in the grow bags. The Birdie's raised garden beds. Listen, I've done everything from raised garden beds, from cedar beds I've had in here. They all fail, and they were not cheap. They looked good. My Birdie's raised garden beds, the original ones I bought, are probably going on 2 years. What's his name? Mark at Self-Sufficient Me. He's another great mentor. He just did a review on the Birdie's raised garden beds that he had for over 10 years. And they look like they'll last another 10 years. So, quality product. Don't take my word for it. Go check out Mark at Self-Sufficient Me. Today, I did just want to give you guys a follow-up because I said I would when I'm ready to put my seedlings into the ground. I don't see the spiraling of the roots. I see some air pruning. That's okay if they don't air prune because they're growing in the ground, so I'll take those roots. They're growing out of the side, so that's keeping them from spiraling. Now, having said that, I'm sure if I leave them in there long enough, we'll have a problem. But do you think these need to be in here anymore, or are they ready to go in the ground? Or I could transplant them for some of the northern folks into a bigger pot. Hold tight. I could go into something like this, and I would bury my stem a little further. And by the time I went from this into the ground, if I'm up north and I'm starting in a greenhouse or indoors, I have a plant that I'm going to put in the ground. Remember to use good potting mixture here. If you don't mix your own, get some organic. And then from here, so it would be once in the new trays, then into this, then into the ground. That's what I would recommend if you're up north and starting early. I know that's what my mom Joan is doing. Camden, I know that's what your mom and dad can do. So go ahead and get yourself some of these if you can. These are, as they say, flying off the shelves. Last I checked, after I did my initial video on this, they were back ordered, or they had to stop processing orders because they were so far behind. So please be patient. They're worth the investment. That's all I have to say about these, right? So if I'm talking this much about them, clearly I'm going to say they're superior. It's what I'm going to use going forward, whether it's to clone tomato plants, mulberries, whatever, or for starting my seeds, whether I start them, prick them, and go into there, or if I direct sow into these trays. So, as I said earlier, I've got a lot to do today. I wanted to just get this out there for you guys. I know for some of the northern folks, you're getting ready to start your seedlings. I put my fan on. It's getting hot. We're going to be in the 90s today. March 26, already 90s. So I hope you can hear me okay. I hope this finds everybody well. Remember what we always say here at the greenhouse. Leave me alone. I'm busy farming and having a blast. So we'll see you next time, back here at the greenhouse or out in the food forest or the garden. Thanks for watching.